Welcome to the Good Games Podcast. This is a show where we usually talk about video games and game-related things, but this episode is a little different because we're not going to talk about video games this time around. The reason why the episode is a little different is because we're talking about a particular movie this time around, and that movie is Black Panther. Oh my God, the movie it's amazing. But in any case, the reason why this episode is also a little different is because it's really short, so don't worry, you won't have to suffer through any Black Panther talk for a very long time. But the impact that this movie had made even before it premiered was something worth discussing because of the insane amount of anticipation that it came with and the weight that it carried with it. I recently got the chance to go out to sunny California on the same week that the movie released, and while I was there, I was able to get in touch with and sit down with a friend of mine, Mr. Bryan Newton, director of Rick and Morty and Teen Titans Go. I feel like I have to keep saying that after his name because you gotta know what this guy's done. He's done some great stuff. And we actually got a chance to sit and talk about what the movie meant for us going into it. And a quick note at the time of the recording, the movie hadn't come out yet, so there's a lot of speculation and discussion that was being thrown around that at this point has either been confirmed or denied, or we were just way off and we didn't know what the hell we were talking about. But I am thankful that Bryan did take the time out of his busy schedule to talk with me. I literally had to go out to his job at WB Studios in order to get some time with him, and he was working on something really amazing at that time that I can't share here, but you will see in due time as long as he gets to work. So without further ado, let's start this pseudo episode. But remember, before we get into things, always go visit InnerCityGeeks.com, which is our home base. And while you're there, click on that Amazon banner and buy stuff because it'll help us all out. Listen to our shows, subscribe to our channels, read our reviews, and leave a review yourself any way that you can. I'll leave info on all the awesome stuff that Bryan has worked on and is currently working on. So enjoy the episode. Good games, everybody. And go see Black Panther if you haven't already. Man, just go. Just do it. You'll be doing nothing but helping at this point. So, yeah, enjoy. And Wakanda forever. All right. So I'm sitting here with a guy that I know very well. I've talked to him a few times on the show, and he has been kind enough to actually let me sit here with him at his job over here in sunny California. I'm out here in California, by the way. But who am I talking to?
This is Bryan Newton, director on Teen Titans. The director on Rick and Morty and sport artist on Teen Titans Go.
Yeah. Welcome back, Bryan.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for talking with me, man. I appreciate it. I know you don't got a lot of time, but I wanted to talk to you about something different from what we talked about in the past, but kind of related. I want to talk to you about Black Panther because Black Panther is a movie that's coming out soon. Actually, by the time you hear this, it'll have already been out, and we'll probably be freaking out over it, discussing it, dissecting it, and all of that. But I wanted to talk to you about it now because it's right before it's about to release. And first thing I wanted to ask you is, what does this movie mean for you? Being a person of color yourself, I'm also a person of color. I always ask that question because I wanted to know like what it means for like, you know, other people like us.
It's fascinating because if you had told me 20 years ago, maybe even like 10 years ago, that there would be a major motion picture Black Panther movie, even I wouldn't believe it for sure, because I also understand how this industry works. Yeah. And you tell people we're going to make a mainstream movie with like not just like a black lead male, but like black lead women specifically, who also don't get hardly any play in like fantasy or comic book films. Exactly. That it's like there's no way they would sell that, right? Because how's it play in Middle America is always the excuse.
But and it's also true. It's also true that there are also people of color behind the scenes too.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler, the director. Yeah.
You know, like he directed Creed and Fruitvale Station. Definitely movies you should check out. People who are listening who haven't seen them, they're great.
Yeah, and both starring Michael B. Jordan, who was also in Black Panther.
Black Panther. Yeah, it seems like he's just following him everywhere.
Fair gig.
But that's what directors do, though. You know, like they like actors and they just bring them along.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I completely agree with you with the whole sentiment that like you like even to a degree, I think I would have laughed mockingly. I would have been like, really?
Yeah.
A Black Panther movie?
Yeah, in this day and age?
Nah, not happening.
Because the money involved in it and the kind of like wrapping the how, like, can we be something true and faithful to the character? Like, even just how they squeezed them into Civil War was really nice. Like, everyone said, like, Black Panther and even, like, Spider-Man's inclusion in that movie is, like, the best parts of the movie.
Yeah.
But even before then, Marvel knew we were going to make this movie. Mm-hmm. So they made sure to really introduce this character and do a really good job so that it's not just, like, cool for people of color and for us being African-Americans, but made it cool for, like, everyone to see that, like, this vision of what a black, specifically African superhero looks like. And how that independence... Because here's one of the funny things I always thought. It's even thinking about earlier today was how Marvel's always done a pretty good job with this. How every series, the characters represent something. Whether they're like nationalism with Captain America and technology industrialism with Iron Man. Yeah. Rage and like inner turmoil with the Hulk. Yeah. Growing up as Spider-Man, X-Men's persecution.
Even to a degree, like being like a foreigner, an alien with Thor.
Yeah,
you know?
Just a stranger in a strange land.
Right.
But with Black Panther, the thing I always caught with that series was it's about pride.
Yep.
Yeah, and so we got a movie about black pride. and he's a panther. It's a cat, feline pride.
So the cat is like you can't make this stuff up. Oh my god. I can't personally, I can't believe that this is happening. And going back to your comment about Civil War, that, you know, originally they weren't gonna... Black Panther was supposed to be in Civil War, but his role was supposed to be significantly smaller than what it was.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know if you knew that. Yeah, his role was supposed to be significantly smaller than what it was. Even to a degree, Spider-Man, they weren't going to put him in the movie whatsoever, but they realized, I think, that he was too important to the Civil War storyline from the comics, and, you know, that's when they were just on the whole... You know, Sony, you know, lending Spider-Man out to Marvel so that they could have him for a couple of movies and so on and so forth. So, you know, the Black Panther we got, even though, like, I wanted to see more of him in Civil War, the Black Panther we got, imagine, it would have been just significantly shorter, and that could have
that would have been a shame.
Yeah, and I think that would have like impacted like the reception of this movie to a small degree, you know, because then people would have been like, well, he was only in the movie for 5 minutes, so like, what's the big deal?
And you know, it's also fascinating because the if you haven't seen it, the Infinity War trailer features a prominent section of Wakanda. Yeah, so I'm like, that's going to be a huge factor in that movie. So now it's like you can almost look at Civil War, Black Panther, and Infinity War as kind of like the Lord of the Rings trilogy for Black Panther, because it's like introduction, get you into Middle Earth, second
introduction,
movie,
and then just fleshing out his entire story, and then now the third movie we'll see like how his role really like contributes to the overall Marvel scope of
universe,
things. You know,
and it seems like Wakanda might be like a major base of operations.
Oh yeah.
Avengers.
No, it's I feel. So I was actually telling a friend of mine about this, and I don't know if it's spoilery. I don't think it's spoilery, but basically, I think that the Soul Gem.
Oh, me too. Yeah,
it's going to be in Wakanda,
which makes sense.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. So they haven't revealed it yet.
Yeah, it's like soul power.
I didn't even think about that.
Well, I think that's partly why they did
the soul glow.
Yeah, because like before Doctor Strange, we hadn't gotten time and soul, so I thought the Eye of Agamemnon was going to be the soul gem.
Right, I thought it was going to be that too, but it turned out to be the time gem.
Right. So that was like, okay, soul's coming later. Yeah. But it's also interesting. I wonder if the soul gem might have something to do with the vibranium.
It's possible. Yeah. It's possible. Maybe it's like maybe at its core. Maybe that's why specifically the Soul Gem is in Wakanda. Maybe they made vibranium from it somehow.
Or maybe like when the Soul Gem came to Earth, it grew vibranium from it. It's like a protective shell, and Wakanda just happened to be there. Yeah. So it explains why even more like Thanos is attacking.
He's attacking Wakanda specifically.
Yeah, and why they are defending it.
Yeah. It's like, and I'm like, I know that's going to be the case. And I read.
We're just speculating. We don't have.
No, we don't. No, we really don't. But like, I read a little bit of like a supposed synopsis on Civil War, and you know, it didn't say specifically that the Soul Gem is in Wakanda, but it basically a big part of the movie takes place in Wakanda. You know, like about a good third of it takes place in Wakanda. So it's you know, it's obvious, like with what you saw in the trailer, that it's like all out war there.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I can think of is that the gem is there and Thanos wants it, and Thanos has sent all of his forces to go and retrieve it
and just clean it up.
And you know, Black Panther, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Zora Milaje, Iron Man or War Machine and Hulk and Black Widow, they're all there.
Falcon's there too.
They're all defending it.
That's why that last shot in the Infinity War trailer is so cool, because you get Panther, the Adorned one, his chief bodyguard. I don't know her name yet because I'm behind. Because I'm trying not to like delve too much into all this stuff. I'm
trying not to too.
But then War Machine, who I love, and then Falcon, who's amazing. So it's like all these fucking black superheroes in one place.
And I'm like, you don't get this. You don't get this. Which actually kind of leads me to my next question. It's like you don't. Like I feel like you don't get this. We've never gotten this kind of representation before in this large of a scale, in this big of a form, with like black superheroes or people of color, marginalized people who are like prominently being featured. Like, do you feel like, even though you know you're older, but do you feel like as a kid that you were able to be like represented like with this happening? Do you feel that impact?
Oh, it would have. I think it would have changed my life significantly.
Yeah,
because I think too much of, especially from an older generation, we had to grow up with an understanding that we weren't going to always be featured. Like we took our token characters, which tried.
Yeah,
we had Lando Calrissian in Star Wars. We had he was Billy D. Williams. I'm sorry, he was I can't think. Harvey Dent in Batman.
Batman.
And then didn't get to be Two-Face, was sad.
Yeah.
Because also
they just dropped him.
Yeah, we should get more villains too.
Yeah. Why not?
Because villains are cool.
And like on a little bit of a tangent, like they're saying like Killmonger like completely steals the movie, and it's cool. Like, and I'm glad.
I'm looking forward to M'Baku too.
Oh, me too. Me too. And I like the fact that like it seems like that. T'Challa is going to be attacked from all angles, like no matter where he is.
That's the Black Panther stories, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tough to be the king.
Exactly. It's hard. It's tough to be the king. Even in the trailer, if you watch the trailers is just like, you know, you're a good man, but as a good man, it's hard to be a king, but you still have to continue to try to be a good man.
Yeah, which is an important lesson to learn from, especially like marginalizing people of color, especially in the country where they are not often represented. We don't get this. Hear those stories about what it means to be us, what it means to be like put upon and like besieged on all sides. And I wonder how much like. From what I've heard from this movie is like they don't pull any punches. And Ryan Coogler in Creed and definitely Fruitvale Station, he understands like what's up in this country. Yeah, so I imagine we'll definitely get a lot of that.
I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of social commentary on it, like, you know, even whether it be subtle or very obvious. But I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of like you know, digs at the establishment.
But it, like
you know, I mean, Black Panther.
I know, you know, straight up. You know? But back on the what it would have meant to been a young person growing up with like a Black Panther major motion picture, it's like I think about like my own creations. I was like in my own kind of headspace and my own creative endeavors. Like I've always tried to have like multicultural, multi-inclusive, see characters I never got to see. Not even just for my own purposes, but like I have friends who are like lesbian, bisexual. Like what story? How come there are no heroes that are like them? Obviously. And it's like, what about heroes who are women? I have friends who are women too. Where are their heroes?
Right. The only like thing I can think of right at the top of my head is Miss America. Like, you know, female lesbian superhero. Yeah, and
I've always like in my own creative headspace for my own personal projects, always take an idea and flip it. And if I can't flip it, then find out why I can't flip it and make that the story.
Oh.
Yeah. So, like, I'll use this example. I've been doing a series of, like, barely producing. I'll take a lot of Batman characters and make them my own, in my own style. In certain characters, I'm like, there's no reason why this person couldn't be a woman. Some characters, there's no reason why this person can't be a person of color. Right. And if there is an excuse why they can't be, then I'm like, why is that?
Right.
For example, you take 1930s Bruce Wayne. Yeah, there's probably not going to be a lot of black people walking around in 1930s
with that kind of money,
and that access and that power. So like, I get that, but you take a modern Bruce Wayne and like a modern like 2000 post-industrial complex, he'd totally be a person of color.
Well, I mean, basically, like, you have, like, T'Challa is basically...
He's Batman.
He's basically Batman. He's basically Batman. I mean, right down to his design. Right down his design, except even he had a cape at one point,
Yeah, and I was... I remember this one YouTuber, Nerdy This, I forget her name, but she's also a woman of color, and she focused on superhero costumes, and she pointed out something I didn't know, which was originally Jack Kirby wanted... Black Panther to reveal his face like Batman.
Oh, okay. Have the mouth piece removed.
Yeah, and then they decide against that because they didn't want. Oh, we're gonna spook white people if we see he's a black guy.
Of course.
Yeah, so they covered up his full face.
Right.
And Jack Kirby, to I guess his entire time drawing that line, never did that. So they later would just color it in.
Oh my god.
So that's the
I did
Black
not
Panther.
know that.
Yeah. So I just found that. I was like, that's amazing. But it shows you the world we were forced to construct our heroes under.
Right.
Where we couldn't, like, even Storm. You take Storm. Storm's half white. Almost never gets brought up, and also not even really evident.
I'm surprised. Like, no one knows about that.
Yeah, but I'm like, also, why does she have to be half white? Because, like,
why can't she just be black?
Yeah, why does she have straight hair?
You know?
Why does she have, like, curly, kinky hair and an afro?
Right.
That would be amazing. I would draw Storm that way.
Yeah, it's like, and you're also reminding me of, like, and I promise last thing on the tangent, but like Monica Rambeau, from the new Ultimates. I'm not sure if you know her.
Is she the new Iron Man?
No, that's Riri Williams. It's Ironheart.
Okay.
No, so Monica Rambeau is she's basically part of, like, the new Ultimates team. But the book got canceled, unfortunately. But the new Ultimates team was amazing. So it had Captain Marvel, cool woman, Black Panther, Blue Marvel. You know Blue Marvel? Okay, so Blue Marvel, Monica Rambeau, woman of color. Possibly one of the strongest Marvel superheroes there is out there.
Okay.
As far as, like, power levels,
wait,
like
is
raw
this
power
Photon?
level. No, her name is her name's escaping me at the moment.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's like Pulsar or it's something like it's something like Star related, but it had Monica Rambeau and it had Miss America.
Wow.
That's a squad.
Yeah.
Like, that is a hell of a squad, and it's just like, but she was also written, I think, in the 60s or the 70s, and she was a part of the Avengers, but briefly. Super briefly. But her, to a point, she was also written, like, basically like it was like blaxploitation. Like, it's just like, I'm just like so disappointed. Not well represented with females, not well represented with black people. It's just like, why would they write her this way? But then they bring her back in the new Ultimates, and she is a force to be reckoned with. Like, she is practically, like, if it wasn't for Blue Marvel being so powerful, she could totally lead the team and own, like, any intergalactic threat that comes their way.
Got it.
But it's just like, what? Like, that's the day and age. You're right. That's the day and age that we lived in, where they wrote these characters to have some sort of, like, connection to the way things were governed, the way things were being.
I mean, you're taking people, mostly like white men, looking at the outside world and kind of interpreting it through their lens.
That's putting it plainly.
Yes.
That's putting it plainly. But so I just wanted to get back on track real quick. So I know you're excited for the movie. What do you think? Like, do you have, like, super high expectations?
Okay, I'm trying to keep my expectations reasonable because it's been so hyped.
Yeah.
And I wonder if how much of that is the manufactured hype versus, like, just us being generally excited. Those are two different hypes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've heard it's like, it's the best superhero movie ever. I'm like, that's really high praise. I mean, it's not that it can't be a great movie. I'm just saying, like, really? Winter Soldier, Civil War, the original Batman, Dark Knight,
the Dark Knight,
or like maybe even the Guardians films too. Like, it's got
competition,
order. And I can definitely easily see it within that pantheon,
right?
But, like, Black Panther is such a unique experience. So if you tell me it's great for its uniqueness, totally understand and totally, like, justifiable. And I want to also succeed because, like, Ryan Coogler is amazing. I love Michael B. Jordan. And then, like, again, Lupita, so cute. Yeah,
she kills it in everything she's in, man. And the thing I'm really interested to see about her character, because with her character, I don't want to say anything because it'll spoil, but, like, with her character, basically she is not. in the comics, the way her character works out is probably not the way it's going to work out in the film. You know, that's all I'm going to say about that.
And also like his sister too, Chikala's sister.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like,
exactly.
Ooh, I'm kind of excited for that too.
I want to see. I want to see if she becomes. Well, anyway.
Yeah, but like the notion that like Black Panther is definitely going to make a lot of money. It's Disney.
It's gonna make. And that's another thing. I'm just kind of hoping that it makes like enough money. I'm hoping that this breaks records.
Yeah,
you know?
because like you compare this to Wonder Woman's release last year, where like always the excuse was you can't do a female-led superhero movie forever. It's like, no, Catwoman sucked because it was a sucky movie. It had nothing to do with she's a woman, and even nothing in fact she had to do with Black Woman. It was just a sucky movie. You can tell from the trailer.
Pretty much, yeah.
But, like Wonder Woman came out last year and it was a great film.
Yeah.
It's exactly the Wonder Woman movie we needed, and you could put that in the same line as the Christopher Reeve Superman and the Tim Burton Batman.
Yeah. It walked such a crazy thin line though, because if that movie was a bad movie, that would have set female-led movies back forever. In many ways, if you could almost say it's harder, because at least like Wonder Woman did show up in Justice League, but not Justice League, Batman v Superman, but that was terrible. But the absolutely terrible for the record.
But like but Black Panther showed up in Civil War and it was a good movie, so he started off on a really good foundation. Now they already knew they were going to do this Black Panther movie, but they decided to go all in, which is kind of like, wow.
Yeah.
Remember, Disney is a major corporation.
Yes,
but still,
Disney's a major corporation. It owns Marvel.
Yeah, so but it's still impressive the fact that they're willing to go this far.
I'm also on the same line where
I'm surprised I haven't heard of Black Panther 2 yet. It's quite.
I was reading somewhere that they are trying to plan for it already.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm just like, because they're anticipating it making such amount of money, and I'm hoping that it blows his expectations way out of the water.
I was thinking about this a couple of days ago. Sorry,
that's fine.
It might also do what for Iron Man. Like, I remember Iron Man when it came out, like, reshift even Marvel's focus on, like, making Iron Man a central character. So Black Panther might be another shift.
I hope so. That'd be amazing, because they have so much they can go on. I mean, Black Panther is richer than like Tony Stark, Bruce Wayne, and any of the richest individuals that you can think of in any comics universe combined. Like, he's worth something like 46 billion or trillion dollars.
He's also as smart as like Reed Richards and all.
Exactly. He's like top 5. He's like top 5 smart in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
So it's just like
he's the everything man.
Like, he's the everything man. It's just like, and it's just like, I hate to say it and bring it down, but it's just because he's a person of color, because he's black.
But I also think they made him the everything man because he's a person of color. Because again, Black Panther's about pride.
Right.
It's like we have enough characters. We have like Steppenfish characters and sidekick characters. Like, no, let's do a black man.
Let's do a black man.
Specifically man. We can have a woman too. We should, but like, let's do a black man.
Well, I mean, he has enough of a supporting cast with the women around him, you know?
Yeah, like
just
the
Dora Milaje.
The adorned ones. I love saying the adorned ones.
Yeah.
I love the fact he has an all-female bodyguard.
I'm like, that's so good. Squad. That's so awesome.
Yeah. And also I love the fact that they don't have to take his shit either. It's just like, we agree with you to a point.
Yeah, but we only work for you. Right. Like, we have our own opinions on things. Yeah, and you know what? We're in this together.
Yeah, we would support the king, but we're really supporting Wakanda.
Yeah. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I imagine the movie's definitely going to delve into that stuff. So it will definitely be entertaining, and at least will open people's eyes about kind of who Black Panther is and what he's about.
Yeah, and
what they're about.
And to a slight message of like, you know, person of color can be, you know, just as smart if not smarter, work as hard if not harder, be as good if not better, but they still have to be all of those things in order to, and still won't be seen.
Yeah, and another great point about like Black Panther being successful is like, again, like growing up I love fantasy movies, but fantasy is almost exclusively a white medium because we're always countering it from a European perspective. Yeah. Now that's why I like Hong Kong films. Attracted, so like I had cousins who loved like Bruce Lee and all that stuff, Wu-Tang Clan for sure. I went all deep on that, but like now we get to see black fantasy movies.
Yeah,
can we make some black fantasy movies?
And I'm like, but this could be the gateway. Yeah. This could be the gateway, and I'm sure that there will be properties that are coming out, maybe even original stories that are coming out,
and art stories that will be adapted to kind of like fit that mold, like Wrinkle in Time.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Also
Again,
Disney,
black
major
led
corporation.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just glad that these series of events, see what I did there? That they kind of fell into place with one of the biggest corporations that exist in the world,
right?
And that it just happens to fall into place with Black Panther being the next major step in.
It's interesting that like their live action division is doing this, because I've always said this from television animation perspective that like if anyone can afford to take risks, it's Disney.
Yeah.
For so long,
they have all the money to.
Yeah, they wouldn't. But now I'm like, take some risk.
I mean, they've had movies that they've invested so much money in that have just completely flopped. Like
John Carter.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. John Carter. They invested something like $250 million in that movie, and it completely flopped.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
Lone Ranger.
That Lone Ranger, I think, was like $300 million that they invested in that
easily,
movie, and I'm like,
if not more. That was probably on the books.
That's minus marketing and everything.
Yeah, that was just production costs.
God, like,
ain't good. No bueno.
Not good at all. But like, they've invested a lot of money in this movie. I'm sure. I'm not sure of the exact budget, but I'm just glad that this is all falling into place, and I'm glad this is all going to be like something it's just going to we're riding on this. We're gonna ride on this for a long time.
Yeah,
so
it's a good it's a good day in America for once.
Yeah, but all right, I don't want to take too much more of your time, man, but hope you're excited, and I hope you enjoy the movie, and
I'm sure I will.
I hope that it's everything that we all need it to be.
Yeah.
Maybe not want it to be, but need it to be. We just need it to make more of an impact so we can get out there.
Oh, it's already succeeded in that.
I think so. I think so. Like man, this is an event. This is an event like unlike any I've ever seen. Like,
yeah, even like Avengers, the first Avengers, I wasn't getting hit up by so many people. Like, hey, you're gonna see Avengers?
Right.
You gonna see Avengers? I've already like had to turn down 2 to 3 separate parties of also white folks too wanting to see Black Panther.
Dude, like, I mean, like, I'm not trying to make this about me at all, but just on a personal note, we happen to be coming out here on the same week as Black Panther was released, and I'm just like, well, I have to make it a point to go see Black Panther in LA. I mean, why not? I'd do it. I would have done it for Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's my favorite superhero personally. But Black Panther, just this impact, like, it's just, you can't run from it. You can't hide from it. It's there, man. And I think you're right. It succeeded on such a grand scale that everyone's going out, coming out of the woodwork for this. But all right, man. I hope. Thanks for talking with me.
Thanks for having me on, friend.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I will talk to you after the movie. We will talk more.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah, we'll talk more. All right, thank you, sir.
Ace loose, scrap, one fall. 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 Scrap, one fall. Who wants the hard 4? 5 wants 4.
Check me out, y'all.
9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 4, and he made it the hard way. Hey, the front line takes the hard. You have a shooter and a good one. Coming out for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. He's a rolling point is 9. Place 9. Place 9. 8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. He's a rolling point is 9. Place 9. 8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. Who wants to come? 6 to point.
Check me out, y'all.
9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets. Place your bets. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
So funky. So funky. Check me out, y'all.
8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. He's a rolling point is 9. Place 9. 8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. Who wants to come? your bets, place your bets. Nine a winner, pay the front line, take the don'ts. He's coming out again for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. 4-4's the point, mark 4. Ace, deuce, who wants to come? 6 the point, who wants to come? 6 the point, who wants to come? 6 the point. Plays 6.